So he you head off. You continue to head off down the path, and then as you get to a certain point, you see the blonde-haired kid come running up behind you, and he goes moving up behind you, and he goes,
"Hey, oh, you're back. You caught up with us."
Yeah, sorry. I forgot. You can get lost in here.
What did the big man say? About the sword.
Yeah, we can trade it. I'll get that in a minute. Let's deal with this first.
All right. Yeah, that sword's final hurrah.
What? What are you talking about?
And he goes, "Come with me," and he follows you. He leads you around.
All right.
Okay.
So it's not a single path that just leads down one.
It is a single path for a while, and then you get to the end and it curves a bit. And after the curve, it suddenly splits off into 8 separate directions.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Okay, look, don't get lost in here. Okay? It's very important you just stick to me at all times. So anything you see, just move right past it. Don't even think about it."
Okay. Can do.
Okay. Sure. I like how he says don't get lost as if we were trying to get lost.
Yeah.
No.
No, we don't want to get lost, but we...
The hole's... Oh, wait, no, we're still in the hole.
Daedra, rein in your curiosity. Please.
That's why I'm in the middle. So there's one of you behind and one in front.
So you guys begin moving on down, and
and
as you walk down this one hallway, you can see that on these shelves there are various bits and baubles. There's still the silver orb things like before, but as you move on further down, you start to see these weird devices, these triangular shaped gems. They're small little circular cylinders with holes at the top of them, which actually look kind of similar. You feel like you saw one of these before back at Lalos's house in the back of the observatory. Similar things to that.
Well, he would recognize it too now. Then.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With me.
You recognize it as well. Move on. You start seeing things like that. As you move on, you begin to see, weirdly enough, and it seems like an anachronism, rings of keys hung up on pegs on either side of the library thing.
Did the blonde kid think it was weird that I was 3 times larger?
No, he obviously understood what was going on.
He's a wizard too.
Oh, wizard.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's just a kid.
And he and he keeps leading you down this pathway until eventually you see that you come to another one of those holes that opens up. Except this one has an odd so it's like a cylinder pit like before, and then a pathway that leads out from the edge to the center, and in the center is a smaller cylinder that seems to go down and descend into it. And on that smaller cylinder where you're facing, there are 2 silver doors in front of you. And the kid,
in the middle of the pit.
Yeah.
That lead into nothing.
No, yeah. So, here, maybe this will be easier if I just draw it.
Sure, do a drawing.
Ooh, drawings urine length time frame.
So there's a bridge extending out over a chasm.
Yep.
And then
the smaller cylinder
at the end of the bridge,
it's like a tube.
Okay, and in that bridge...
Does it go up as far as we can see, off to the distance?
Yeah.
Either direction? Okay. So it's like where Luke and Darth Vader fought.
So in the ceiling above you, there's another opening that goes up.
Okay. But across the bridge, that's where the doors are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where you guys are standing right here.
Right.
And it extends out for the bridge there, and then there's this tube here with the double doors. So there's a cylinder there's an opening on the top of the ceiling that this small tube just goes through.
Right, but there are double doors here that lead into nothing.
No,
double doors right here on the smaller tube.
To
at the
enter.
end of the catwalk.
To enter the tube.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, like elevator doors.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
I can't say that because,
Well, no, you can because
just
because it looks like an elevator call.
Yeah, just because there are no elevators in the other world,
it helps for describing it to us people.
Yeah.
So and then we can
It's a tube elevator.
Okay.
Do we need to go into the tube?
And Frederick goes, yeah.
You mean Daryl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, not Frederick.
I'm calling Lester.
Yeah, sorry. Now you guys got me doing it.
He calls him Frederick.
Sammy boy.
He calls him Daryl. I call him Lester.
The blonde-haired kid goes, yeah, that's the way down. Look, the interloper has taken up shop at the bottom of the shaft down there. That's where a lot of, the weirdest things are stored up in there. Don't mess with the automata or the mechanical men, okay? Just don't screw with it. Those things have been asleep for a while. They don't have their power sources. They don't need to be woken back up.
If they don't have power sources, they can't be woken up.
I'm just saying don't break them.
Hey, Jinx!
We had the same thought, but in different order.
and he glances at you, and glances at Merek, and glances back at Daedra, and goes, oh, well, that's fine then. And he shrugs his shoulders and goes, anyway, so just don't break them.
Hey, so what? Do we open the doors and jump down the tube?
No, sorry. And he walks forward and he stands in front of the door and he says, and he like clicks his tongue together and he goes, I can never remember this dang thing. And he rubs his temples a bit and he goes,
Is it no roots?
And he turns around and he goes, no, you. And then he turns around and goes, no, of course not. And he like rubs his temples a bit and goes, Penoit. And then
Write it down.
And then the door goes and opens.
As soon as I have enough words.
Is it just a tube?
No, yeah, so it opens and there's like a silver disc inside.
Oh, so there's something to stand on. Okay, because from here it looked like you just dumped down the tube.
Yeah. And he goes, yeah, go ahead. And now you should find him right at the bottom, so you won't need my help from here. I also don't want to go down there.
All right. So, is it big enough for Jovan to fit in?
No, unfortunately. Yes, it is. I'm not pulling that trick. Yeah, it is.
So Merek and I will enter first, so that Jovan will be in the doorway when it opens up and the bad guys fight.
Okay, he's got like duck down, and the one kid waves a hand and goes, "Have a safe trip." Yeah.
Do we use the same word to come back up?
Yeah.
How do we go down?
Oh, don't worry, it knows where to go.
All right.
And the door like shuts, and apparently, it doesn't know where to go. There's a small panel to the left that's black. That's like a black panel.
It's just black.
It's just a black panel.
Press the bottom part of it.
You press the bottom part, and like a purplish light like lights on your finger where you press it, and it just holds there. It disappears when you take your finger off of it.
I swipe
Go
down.
to the interloper.
Oh,
And it starts descending.
Ooh.
that's an interesting way to do an elevator.
We know, right?
I mean, I guess there's only.
You could just go like.
Yeah, I know. No,
Right,
what
it's
if it
like-
actually responds and it does that? And like the whole thing like just blows up,
Alright.
or it
So,
takes you to a different dimension.
You start descending down the elevator tube, and as you descend down, you notice that there are other tubes that offshoot to the side of you as you go down.
Ah, see, if you would
Yeah,
have done that
so we can
squiggly
go
thing,
wherever.
we would have ended up
We
like,
would got lost.
Yeah. So it goes, and it keeps descending down deeper and deeper, and then eventually gets to the bottom of what you assume is the shaft.
So we can look out.
No, the tubes are all closed. You can't look at it.
Well, I mean, like, how do we know that this tube's going out in other directions?
Yeah, if we're in a closed.
So it's like a closed tube, and then to the left of you is like another opening in the side of the tube.
So we're on a disc in the tube.
Yeah.
And we could be moving down these other
Yes.
paths.
Yes.
We're not in a
Alright,
closed
alright.
elevator.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
We're on a
Okay.
platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Sure thing.
So it goes down, and it eventually gets to the bottom, and you see another set of doors, and they stand closed.
So did you have to say the word to open it?
Yeah.
Penoit?
Penoit.
Penoit?
Yeah.
And then you hear this, "Lo siegt!"
Penoit!
I'm gonna jump.
Proceed.
I'm gonna jump through.
Penoit! Like,
We're gonna jump through.
yeah,
Ugh. And like an exasperated voice sounds out. You guys roll
Yeah.
through.
yeah.
I'm gonna
So
dive
you roll through, and
with
rolling
my
out,
shield up. Like there's somebody here.
rolling out into this room, you can see that the room looks similar to the rest of the library. It's got like the wooden floors and all that, except this room has like a metal chassis, similar to like not a chassis, a metal like hook system, similar to like what blacksmiths will hang like armor up on, except it's hanging from the ceiling, and hanging from a variety of the ceilings are a whole bunch of different what looks to be like human bodies in some places, and what looks to be like
automatons.
mechanical constructs in others.
Ooh.
And on some places, like the human bodies are like partially broken off, and there's like wiring and stuff spreading out of them, and gears and things like
Interesting.
that.
I want to know the controller aspect.
Ooh. Hey!
At the far end of this arrangement of automata, there is a fort constructed out.
The book fort.
Yeah,
he
there-
did say he was in the
I
book
know,
fort.
it's just still a ridiculous thought.
There is a fort constructed out of a variety of books that you imagine were stolen from around the library.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a head with like a black tussle of messed up wiry hair, and like you see this like pale looking kid peek out from over it.
Kid?
Yeah,
Looks like a kid?
he's probably a little older than Daedriel, so probably like 15, 16.
What? Oh, I wonder how a kid got in here.
And he
Are you the licking interloper?
and he peeks out over the edge and he peers at the three of you and he goes, "Who wants to know?" And he's like, "Come closer into the light."
Oh, is there like only like near where he is, or
You can see him. He doesn't seem to be able to see you.
Poor eyesight.
Yeah, I'm gonna step out into the light.
Okay.
My name is Jovan of Lear.
And so you walk closer, and he looks at you, and he gets one look at you, and he goes, "Oh no!" And he like ducks his head back down, and you hear him like shuffling around. Back
none
there.
of us are supposed to be here. We've come to help you out of here.
And he stops for a second, and goes, "Really?
We wish you. Wait, are we supposed to kill him?
Wait,
We're
are
supposed
you?
They said deal with it."
Wait, are,
Yeah.
are
we,
you?
we wish you no harm.
Are you boy Paradigm? What's his face? Whose name I can't remember.
Burgess.
Are you boy Burgess?
And the kid, then whatever it is, it stops ruffling around, and he goes, and he like pokes his head up around and turns back around, and he
Because
looks
after Merek sent you away, you never came back like you were supposed to.
"Oh, you gotta be kidding me!" And he like steps out from around the bookcase, and he walks around and leans out. And you can see that whoever this guy is, he's a small kid form, and he's got like a black robe on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was described as having a white robe.
Or sorry, a white robe on.
Okay.
My mistake. He's got like a white robe on with gold filigree, and he steps out from behind it. And you can see that, unlike Vergis at all, he walks perfectly fine. He doesn't seem to have any metal parts in him or anything like that.
That's before.
But there is a strange resemblance, as almost you feel as if this is Vergis, just in a different form. And he looks at the three of you, and he peers at you, and he goes, "How did the three of you get down here?"
We took the elevator.
Yeah, there's an elevator.
And
Or
he
there's a
he
disc.
throws his hands up into the air, and he goes, "Of course, I'm the son of Gyron. Why would he be any different?"
Oh, is he also sarcastically obvious
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
has like?
And he the kid walks forward a bit, and he goes, "You probably don't remember me. My name is Vergis."
I knew it. You're Kid Vergis.
we
You
just
look
asked
like
if
him.
you
We just
were
asked
here.
you that.
Yeah, I know. The fourth paradigm of Lear. He's still standing on ceremony. The fourth paradigm of Lear. Merek.
Wait, how many paradigms were there?
6.
I'm Jovan, the 7th paradigm of Lear.
And he turns towards you and goes, "What? When did that happen? How long have I been gone?"
Not very long.
It-
A
it-
few
look,
weeks.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Merek. And he walks up to you. And
You're
he's-
looking quite spry.
And he strides right up to you, and he grabs your hand, and he shakes it furiously. And he goes, "I have to thank you."
Excuse me?
And he like shakes your hand furiously, and he goes, whatever spell you cast was the best thing that ever happened to me."
Yeah, you look rejuvenated. You're actually kind of good looking.
Precisely. And he,
I must know
Yeah,
what's on the other side.
how did this happen?
well, allow me to explain.
I tried to see where you had gone, and I saw only bright crystalline light.
Of course, this is fortuitous. I've been trying to find my way back to Myrad, but those two creatures up there, well, not that I would trust them.
But they offered to send us all back to Myrad if we get you to stop burning and eating the books.
Wait, what? They offered?
Yes.
What?
That's why we're
They-
down here.
Look, none of us are supposed to be here. We came here by accident.
They're just gonna let me leave?
Yes.
I
The whole point of them
believe
is
so.
that they want you to go back to Myrad where you belong.
yeah.
And he like sits down where he
Essentially,
is, and he
that's-
goes,
You thought they were going to kill you this
There's something
entire
wrong with
time.
"Well, of course I did. They're cursed fallen angels."
Wait,
Angels.
go back to the cursed fallen angels part. Could you go back to like half a second ago when
Yeah,
you
how-
said
how
cursed
did you
fallen
know
So
angels?
many questions. How did you get here from the Smiths?
Right.
How are you young?
Let me explain. You see, Merek, when you dismissed me, I was flung into the ether. For a while, I drifted through a weird plane. I can't really describe it. It hurt my head. There was a whole bunch of weird-looking staircases everywhere, and I didn't really understand it. Anyway, point of the matter is, eventually, I found myself tumbling through an unknown doorway, and found myself waking up on a golden plain filled with golden clouds and gigantic blue crystals towering to the sky. This matches with the scrying result.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
he
this
goes-
is the land of the gods?
And he goes, "The land of elsewhere, yes. The land where most, if not all, of the gods reside."
Oh, it's called elsewhere.
Exactly, that's the name of the plane. By the
Oh.
way, this was why this sojourn of mine has taught me much about the multiverse.
I must. Please do tell. I am sorry for, our disagreements and sending you away.
I don't care anymore. My connection to Parallax has been completely severed. After I landed on elsewhere, the gods took pity on me and healed me of my afflictions and rebirthed me in my new form.
Wow, that's...
They were quite merciful.
And yet you ended up here despite that.
Yes, well, I left.
Oh, okay.
You
I-
see, They wanted me to stick around for all time. Didn't want me going back to to Myrad to muck about with things again.
Yeah, the
But
gods
I-
are like that.
But I knew I had to get back and stop Parallax.
Yes.
About that.
Do you know any more about Parallax?
Oh, of course. I was a paradigm after all. I'll tell you all of it. But first, let's get out of this damnable codex.
Well, before we leave the Codex, we should probably sum up some history about how we got here, because if indeed we're to return to Lear, you probably should know where we are in the couple weeks since you've been gone.
let's share all our information before we confront the Fallen Age, because we don't know for sure that they mean to send you home. They sent us to help deal with you being here, but they didn't
Right.
say exactly how.
The point is, the reason I got here, maybe this will make it a bit more clear, while I spent my time among the gods, walking among them, and never seeing them, of course, I noticed their angelic servants, and the sons of the gods, and the sons and daughters of the gods, but never the gods themselves, no. Oh, actually, come to think of it, ever since I left the place, the memories are a little fuzzy. But anyway, the point of the matter is, I heard about this place called Codex, a place where all the world's knowledge was contained. I figured if I could get there, I could find some way to get back home.
Wise.
Yes.
Makes sense.
It wasn't long before an emissary from Codex made his way to elsewhere to deliver an update or something along those lines. Over my time spent in elsewhere, I learned that Codex was managed by this pair of fallen angels long ago. They had said to have been
the
sociopaths who wanted to unleash knowledge on men when they couldn't fully understand it. Knowledge that would make their minds go mad out of pure joy.
All right.
Anyway, when the emissary appeared, I followed him back through his portal. After that, I think he had blondish hair. After that, I fled and ran around the library trying to find my way. A place to, set up shop.
So from your perspective, how long have you been here?
About a week.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you've been here for a decade. And
No.
like,
Not Parallax. You've been freed from him?
Oh, yes.
As in you were a prisoner beforehand?
In some cases, the sentient metal in my body was directly connected to Parallax. That's the thing you probably don't realize. Parallax isn't actually now I realize he's actually not a god at all.
yes, it turns out
Well,
we think that Parallax is actually a sentient
just-
mental monster.
You are correct. Yes, a metal construct from a distant age.
We should tell you
The
something.
being alloy,
Alloy. Wait, and he grabs your arm and he goes, "Did they complete the project?"
Yes.
it appears they did. At Laulus's ball, he went wild and confronted us.
What being did Parallax devour to increase the power output? How did they finally manage to get the containment field up and working?
Did he devour Svanus?
Oh,
no, we
let-
teleported Svanus away.
We will sum up. So we tell him the story
Yeah.
of the ball,
He attempted to
the
devour
unveiling,
Svanus.
the time stop,
Mhm.
him becoming a paradigm or being invited,
Mhm.
Lalos being torn to pieces.
During this time, he also explains that when he felt the pull of monster summoning pulling him back, he chose not to follow it, and the gods severed the connection, which is why he didn't
Ooh.
return.
It's a choice?
And he goes, well, yes, relatively.
I guess it depends on what you're trying to summon. If you're summoning a monster or an animal, it probably doesn't have the will
I
to
mean,
resist.
maybe the fact that the gods could sever the connection for him.
Think of it this way.
Let
You
him
can send
stay.
something to a place, but it has a choice of whether or not it wants to go back, at least in some cases.
Interesting.
I'd be careful using that spell. You may find things stick around longer than you expect. I don't know, though. You were casting it in the inverse, if I understand correctly.
Yes,
So things can work out of order, and the gods did help.
of course. Yeah.
So if you should return, I don't know if either Alloy or the other existing living paradigms would still recognize you in this form.
No, most certainly not.
So
That could be our one trump card in taking them
Ooh.
down.
You are always welcome at the Dulan. I always liked you, especially how you lick things to determine if they're good. I feel like we have a connection there.
Yes. That's something else. But anyway, it's an old habit. Don't worry. And he's like, I'm flustered. I'm sorry. I just didn't think I'd ever be able to get back home. My plan was to cause as much havoc as possible until they were forced to eject me somewhere else. And hopefully,
Well,
find my way back
we
to
are the
Myra
means of
anyway.
that
Yes.
ejection.
We are here to eject you.
How fortuitous. And he narrows his eyes a bit and just goes, almost too fortuitous.
Fate has brought us together.
I hope that's all it is.
Now our fates are intertwined.
We should be
We are
wary upon
brethren in arms.
we should be wary upon returning to the blonde boy. He might have more malicious intentions. Yes.
It's unclear.
Perhaps.
Well, we
there's-
will need your assistance in confronting Alloy, or Parallax as he may be.
Sure.
We don't need them to get back.
Yes,
But
we
it
do.
would make things much simpler if
Wait,
we could
we
if we
don't?
could use their assistance.
I've been studying, and I believe I have the means, the knowledge, and the tools to step to other planes.
What?
Yes.
What?
As a demon would?
I haven't
Like the demons?
finalized it, but
Maybe make
if we put our heads together, we could figure it out.
But the Paradigms have spent years trying to come up with that magical theory.
Have they stepped through planes?
No, not yet.
I have done it many times.
That's why we had you lot get the manual.
Merek. I'm sure that by stepping through the planes, you mean utilizing the wardrobe. Yes.
No.
And Percival pops out of his backpack and goes, boss, just a little reminder, they did say not to use any dimensional
They said-
shifting magic.
Yeah, it would
Oh,
collapse
they
the
did-
plane.
No,
I
I thought they were referring to.
I was already all over that, Percival.
Okay. He goes,
If Gyron taught me anything, it is to always listen.
right,
Look,
yeah.
Merek, they just want Vergis out of here. I'm sure that they'll send us all back to Lear.
But perhaps we should figure it out, just in case
It doesn't
we
hurt, I
need
suppose.
a second plan.
I feel
A
like what
backup.
the plan should be is that if it turns out that we are betrayed, then we will escape into the maze and then use your potentially world-destroying
Well, I
magic.
haven't finalized it. I'm saying we put our minds together, Vergis.
How much time will
Yeah,
it take?
I don't think we have that much time.
Perhaps I can assist you with the theory, but if they will indeed eject us, we can return. I blew off the kid's arm the other day.
Oh, that was you!
Yeah.
I thought it was a punishment for showing us that cool graphic novel.
No.
Why did you blow off his arm?
He was trying to attack me.
Well, he grew it back soon enough, or
No,
quick enough.
Of course he did. It was only meant as a deterrent.
Why did he try to attack you? I thought they were deciding to leave you alone until we
Well,
come
they
and
don't
fetch you.
they don't know how to handle the situation. Essentially,
Hmm.
if we can convince Vergis to come on peacefully, why would they?
We also have to guarantee his safety, so if the fallen angels turn on
Exactly,
him,
we can do that. We can
and we know
say,
they're vulnerable to Batsword.
It's true.
That's true, and you still have it.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
worth hanging on to for the moment.
Well, let's take this.
But I do believe we should trade it before we leave.
So-
Maybe.
So Vergis
If they let
goes.
us leave.
So Vergis. Well, let us take this let us take this elevator. That's what this is called, by the way. A backup.
That would make sense. It does contain the two words
It
that
does-
form the
it
roots
does-
for moving and up and down.
Well, it does elevate. That is a word
Yes.
that we
Yes.
can understand.
Yes. So
That's
he,
a very logical word. A thing that elevates.
so he like turns toward the door and goes Panoit, and it opens.
Yay!
That language. What language is that?
And he goes, "You haven't recognized it? It's the same language we paradigms speak to each other.
Mm-hmm.
No, we recognize
but what
that,
language
but what
is that?
language is that?
It's the language of the Sentinels."
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't.
Are they 100
No, I
foot
got
tall
nothing.
devouring beings? Alright, It's like,
Well, he looks at you and he goes, kind of close. Not exactly the same.
wait, are the paradigms sentinels themselves? Like, are they
No.
guardians of something?
No, the paradigms are a wide variety of lot. And he like climbs into the elevator and keeps talking. He goes,
Sure.
some of the paradigms themselves are actually just constructs created by parallax. They can be
Ah.
reconstituted. Others,
Was Zavalas such a construct?
I'm not sure. To be honest, that we kept our secrets pretty close to the chest. Others,
Mm.
like me, were saved by parallax by the inserting of his sentient metal into ourselves.
Oh, so he put his
Ah.
seed inside of you.
Don't say it like
That's
that.
a very odd way to put it, but yes.
Yes.
And the-
It's alright. Jovan doesn't like it when I refer to sauces as spooge either. So he's
A
like
religious-
that about
A
terminology.
religious man.
Yes.
So the elevator continues to ascend upward.
So you're saying that at some point in your life you were horribly injured and close to death and paralyzed saves you?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Well, I wouldn't go back there again if I were you.
No. I used to be quite the troublemaker.
I can tell. And you're kind of a looker too. How old are you now?
He's about 16,
Oh, You know, I never had a big brother.
and he goes,
Wink.
yes. He seems very put off by it. Okay, so the elevator continues rising
Yeah,
up.
long elevator ride, isn't it?
Yeah. And then eventually-
Elevator rides are only as long as they need to be for the conversation to finish, as we've learned from movies throughout
Oh, yes.
history. It's like,
and then eventually it gets
This is
back.
boring and awkward.
it's like
And then eventually it gets back to the top floor, and Verge just goes, "Yes, well, you see," and he goes, "The Sentinels are actually not that different than those automatons down below, but that's all from the distant past."
Interesting. But why does Parallax wish to control the city?
He doesn't wish to control the city. He wishes to use the city as a tool to protect us from the coming. Well, he called it the plague.
so. Is
What-
he
what
a
is
good
he-
guy then?
It's a relative term. Parallax has a. Now that I understand it better, now that I understand him as not a god,
He has a will to protect and will go to any means in order to protect.
I've studied it a bit more. It's more like he was a automaton himself, and had a singular purpose that he now is enacting in the best way he knows how.
Oh, that makes sense. So he is basically a golem
In some ways,
with an instruction that over time has become corrupted because the context of the instruction no longer is sensible.
but far more complicated than that, considering he contains one of the lanterns, or at least the power of one of the lanterns.
Lantern?
Yeah, what lantern?
Right, the 6 celestial lanterns, various different colors. Anyway, don't worry about it.
Does this exist in the Amber mythologies?
No, he's
Okay.
like the purple one powers him. There it is. I
So-
was wondering when you guys were finally gonna pick up on it.
Oh my god!
Wait, so
Interestingly
which-
enough,
which was the
we
purple
always
one?
knew this because he already hinted at the dragon shard, the light from the purple
The-
light
the
that I
light-
used to power
fire,
the bow.
purple fire.
So we always knew it was tied to that mythology from the other
Ally
game.
is the king.
No,
Yeah.
No, he's not
He's
King.
King
Ga-
Gel-
He's not King Gelgrin. Grin's
No, what's
Galgrin.
the,
Because he was an
You think it's
automaton.
Galgrin?
no,
is an
what's,
automaton.
what's
But no,
other
what's the
god
purple that fueled him?
God, not Garin, but
That's right.
the one that the Illuminators follow.
Grithar?
Gathar, because
Gathar
that
could be
sounds
Gelgrin?
it sounds enough like Gelgrin that it could be that Gathar is like Gelgrin in the
No.
distant future. That was my original thought that was
Yeah.
where Gathar came from.
Anyway, as he walks down, Virtus goes, "Yes, well, the gods, or at least their servants, explained this partially to me. There were 6 lanterns that they gifted to the humans down below that contained celestial power
Yeah,
to help them and assist them on their way.
Huh.
The purple one could animate things and control them, give them life.
yeah. I stole a good portion of that power before we left the what's his face's
Lalos's manor.
Lalos's
Yeah.
manor.
You did?
Yes,
With the begging bowl.
my father left
The
me
what?
this. My father left me this bowl, and
It can collect energy.
yes, and I've absorbed like almost all of it from the.
And he peers at the bowl with the glowing symbol and he goes, "What is that?"
Well, it used to be a clay begging bowl, but apparently once it gets powered by purple light from inside of the astronomy hall, it becomes this. Like all the dirt fell off of it, and now it's this really cool bowl. And then we have these little like things that my
Well, I
friend
think
Merek
I think
got.
it was always that bowl.
Yeah,
just
it's
concealed in
super
clay.
awesome. That's how we got here. It turns out that I can use this to open little portals in the world, except we don't exactly know how.
And
And
Virtus
so-
like clasps his hand to his head and he goes, "Oh no."
That's how we ended up here. We were escaping from one place to another, and we just kind of randomly created this hole.
You have to leave that here.
What? Why?
No way, this is
Why-
my
why
only...
is that?
Leave it behind. The paradigms cannot get a hold of that begging bowl.
Oh no, they won't.
Ah.
This is the awesomest thing ever. It's the only thing my father left for me.
No,
I'm
leave
guarding it
here.
with my life.
Leave it here.
I will guard it with backsword if I have to.
Why?
If I
Why?
leave it
What,
here-
didn't the
Daedriel,
secrets of
Daedriel.
Can
metal
you
travel?
imagine what would happen if the fallen angels get their hands on it? They
And-
looked upon it with great greed.
And he rubs his nose a
With
bit.
your power, the paradigms will never get their hands on this.
And he rubs his nose a bit and goes,
Daedriel, you can't ensure its protection beyond your lifespan.
"You don't understand.
That I would live
If-
forever.
If that thing does what I think it does, then it can basically break the chains of interdimensional travel. It's like a set of dimensional lockpicks.
Awesome.
Do you know what exists in the caverns deep beneath Lear? Down beneath that shore, all the way to Zotadal?
More awesomer treasures like the ones we got from like Daft Shore.
The sealed tomb of Quiz.
Ooh.
Oh.
that's where we're in for tonight.
Clearly, the final adventure. Yes.
Wow.
We
What
will
travels
rise
we
to
go
become
through.
draconic gods ourselves.
Yeah, we will destroy Quiz.